Hi everybody, welcome. I'm a little late, sorry. I'm going to give everybody a minute or two to tune in. I'm Liz Barnett. I'm a fitness and food coach. Hi Deb, based in New York City. And tonight we're going to be talking stress, kind of some unlikely places that you might be adding stress to your life, how to cut it out, some of my strategies, and I think what everyone's really interested in is supplements and ways that you can add supplements to your repertoire to kind of help mitigate stress, beat stress, and deal with the repercussions. So welcome if you're joining. Again, my name is Liz. I'm a fitness and food coach based in Manhattan. And tonight we're going to be talking stress. So, stress is kind of an unavoidable part of our lives. We all know that. There's good stress and there's bad stress. A friend of mine just got married a few weeks ago, and obviously it was stressful leading up to the wedding, but she was super happy and excited when it happened. And then there's that kind of daily stress that we have every day at work that sometimes we think we can't really avoid, which I'll talk about a little later. But thank you. I just want to talk a little bit about the science of stress. So, I just mentioned a few types, but there's other things in your life that you might not be realizing, hi there, that are contributing and creating stress in your life. So I'm a fitness coach, but you should understand that exercise actually is perceived as to the body as stress, mostly higher intensity exercise. I'm not talking about movement like walking and stuff like that. So just considering if you are in a really stressful situation or current state of being, if you work out a lot, hi from Puerto Rico. I bet the weather's a little warmer there than here in New York. So if you have a lot of stress in your life and you're really into things like CrossFit or high intensity exercise, for one thing you could do is kind of ease up on that. So that's really important. So just talking about ways to kind of balance your stress in your life that you might not really be thinking about. So things like exercise can add stress to your life. We live in this culture where we're constantly connected to our iPhones and our computers as we are right now. So that digital stress is kind of like a ubiquitous part of our life right now. So after I get off this Periscope, I'm going to turn off my phone and I'm going to head downstairs and hang out with my family for a bit. And then I'm going to read before I go to bed, which I'll talk about how that's one of my kind of rituals that I do to de-stress. So you have stress in your life in the form of exercise, digital stress, work stress, all that stuff. Unfortunately, I can't help you figure out how to deal with a stressful boss, but that is something that you want to take a look at. So there's the really obvious stress that we talked about, but I want to talk about a concept new to me, or at least the term is new to me, called iceberg stress. So if you think about an iceberg, you can just see a little bit of it above the water, and then most of it is underneath the surface. So that's what iceberg stress is. You want to think of that. So say you have something. Hi from Turkey. Welcome, Ramazan. Is that how you say your name, or Ramazan? You'll have to somehow let me know. So iceberg stress is like, so say you have that boss that really frustrates you every day, and maybe you've been working with that boss for a while, and just day in and day out you're having to deal with that. And you complain about it, you go home and complain to your significant other or your roommate. That's iceberg stress. It becomes your new normal because you're used to it. Hi there. But and certainly, sorry about that. Certainly, you know that being at work is a stressful situation to you, but you might not realize how much that actually affects you, okay? So when you're under a constant state of stress, like chronic stress, so say that work situation we were just talking about, or you have a boss that you don't get along with. Oh, I'm very relaxed. I just talk fast. This is how fast we talk around here. No panic over here. So say I have a lot to say and not a lot of time to say it. I want to keep this under 10 minutes. So you have that iceberg stress that is, constantly sort of affecting you whether or not you realize it. And then you have, a stressful situation that you might be aware of. So say you have a sick family member or something like that. Like that's really apparent to you. That kind of long-term stress has various consequences. So your nervous system is made up basically of two parts, your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous system. Your sympathetic nervous system is kind of your fight or flight. So like, say you're getting chased by a bear, that kicks in so you can haul ass out of there. Parasympathetic nervous system helps you kind of calm down. Thank you. Bye-bye, take care. Your parasympathetic nervous system helps you calm down and relax. So we're going to talk about ways to activate that as well. So, like I was talking about stress, you might not even realize that you have these sort of ingrained habits or things that you do or are affected by every day that are going to affect your stress levels. Now, when that happens, deals with your hormones, or it changes your hormones. You might have chronically elevated adrenaline or cortisol, which can lead to inflammation. These are all kind of health buzzwords. So, it varies from person to person, the exact effect and like what kind of consequences they are, but just keep in mind that they does have an effect. So say, you try to go to bed every day and you have a really hard time falling asleep or staying asleep. That very likely has something to do with your hormones, specifically cortisol and adrenaline, right? So that's a good sign, or that's a clear sign that there might be something going on. If you're suffering, if you do work out and if you're suffering with the intensity or the performance of your workout, that's kind of another example that you might be dealing with some chronic stress that you don't realize. What you can do, so like you can't help it necessarily if you have, say, a sick family member, or maybe you can't change your job, right? But there are some things kind of from the top level. I'm going to talk about kind of bigger things that I think will make a big impact, and then I'm going to drill down to some more kind of tips and strategies and tools that you can use, because a lot of these tools, they're just sort of band-aids and they do help, but you really have to deal with the larger issues at hand. So, if you have a job that's really stressful or you work too many hours, you have to find kind of more room in your life for things that you really enjoy. So maybe that's hanging out with friends and family. Maybe it's traveling. I know sometimes it seems impossible, but honestly, you just have to do it. You have to figure out a way. And I promise there is a way. Particularly if you're shutting your iPhone off at night, you'll find out that you have like hours and hours you didn't even realize, okay? So find more ways to enjoy life and play, try something new, challenge yourself. Those are all kind of proven ways to de-stress. If you don't already have some sort of meditation or reflection or practice or something like that, I highly recommend it. Yoga is a physical practice. They use asanas, which are the postures, hi there, to help you actually be able to sit still. So a lot of people go to yoga because they think it's a great workout, which it is, but the actual purpose of yoga is getting you to a point where you can just sit still and be still and contemplate. So no sex show, sorry. Finding whatever your yoga is. Maybe it's running, maybe it's listening to podcasts, maybe it's, listening to classical music. You have to figure out what your yoga is and find a way to integrate that sort of reflective practice in your life. So again, finding things you love, doing them, finding ways to integrate some sort of meditation or yoga into your life, whatever yoga is. Those are kind of the larger items that you can address. I find that having some routine and ritual in your life can be really helpful. So that's what I'm going to talk about now. I'm going to talk about things I do every day to try to help me mitigate the stress in my life, okay? So I sort of have like a morning ritual, a night ritual, and then stuff I do during the day. So I'm going to actually share a few things that I do every morning. So just bear with me while I grab them. So I just actually started doing this, and I'm sort of obsessed. This is a dry brush. Does anyone that was tuning in dry brush before? So it's supposed to be great for a lot of different stuff, including detoxification and generating lymphatic drainage and your skin and all that good stuff. And you basically brush your whole body in the morning. Great. I started to do that every morning. And what I've actually found is, since I have to wake up pretty early and I sort of schedule myself that I have like just enough time to get ready, by dry brushing in the morning, it forces me to slow down. So it's almost like a meditation where I can just sort of like slow down, start to think about my day, kind of like organize my thoughts. It's doing something very, basic but physical. I don't have to think about it. So for me, hopefully it's got some, added benefits, but even just the act of kind of slowing down first thing in the morning, but not having to put a lot of effort into it mentally, that's been really helpful. The other thing I try to do every morning is this. So this is called the 5-minute journal. You could use any journal, but I particularly like this brand. I have no affiliation with them. I just think they're awesome. And I'll just give you a quick peek here. So every day has like a quote you can start with, and then it outlines it so that you find things to be grateful for. So you have to give 3 things that you're grateful for, 3 things that you think will make today great, and an affirmation. So it can be something as small as, something that would make today great. Like I often put like a workout or yoga. The brand is actually called the 5-minute journal. So you can look them up. They're also starting this like productivity journal I'm really excited about. I am a health coach. So nutritionist, it just depends what you mean. I'm not a registered dietitian, but nutritionist can mean a lot of different things. I work with people, helping them figure out, what kind of food and eating strategy works best for them. I'm not going to tell you need to have X number of calories or that sort of thing. I kind of help people, educate people with the options and see what the best one is for them that works for them. So in the morning, back to the 5-minute journal, I take 5 minutes or less to, create some gratitude to start my day off right. So if I know I have a really stressful day ahead, that leaves me in a better state to take it on. Like tomorrow, I have a really packed day, lots of classes and clients, but I often think I'm really grateful that I have these classes to teach and a job, and I have these clients that are really dedicated, and I really enjoy spending time with them. So even though it can be stressful to take on a busy day like that, I'm starting the foot off right. The gratitude journal actually has an evening section as well, so you kind of reflect back on your day. So I love that. What I tend to do at night, I talked before, is turning off my iPhone and reading. It's recommended to read something that you're interested in but not super stimulated by. So like not necessarily like a crazy intense crime novel that you're going to get sucked into. I read things about like fitness, health, nutrition, a lot of stuff about things like stress and meditation and motivation. So things I'm interested in, but I won't stay up all night reading. So that's one thing you can do. The other thing I'm going to show you, I actually do acupuncture about once a week. That's hugely helpful for stress. It might not be available to you if you don't have it, in your area, or if it's not, affordable to you. So this is my other tool. So I shared this on my sleep periscope I did. It's an acupressure mat. And so all these little white round things have little kind of spindly, almost like sort of, not nails because it doesn't hurt, but so you can lay on that, and that stimulates different acupressure points. And so what I do at night is I lay on this acupressure mat and I read for about a half an hour, and I found that to be really helpful for kind of to de-stress and get ready for bed. So those are some of my, daily habits and rituals. If you have any you would like to share, I'd love to hear it. If you saw on Instagram, I did post a couple supplements that can be really helpful for mitigating stress, and that's what I'm going to finish with here. Again, I think you should always start with the macro things, like how you can remove stress from your life in ways that are manageable. You can incorporate daily rituals that are very soothing and stress reducing, like I just mentioned, but I'm going to grab some of my supplements here. So couple things. And again, this is another repeat recommendation. Anytime I mention something more than once, it's really good. So that acupressure mat is something I've talked about before, and I'm going to talk about Natural Calm. This is a magnesium supplement. It is also called the anti-stress drink. So magnesium is a mineral that's in our diets. If you work out a lot and you sweat a lot, or if you're stressed also, there's a very high chance that you're magnesium depleted. So it's really important to supplement. There's various forms of magnesium. I just like this one because it's a little easier to absorb in this format, but certainly you could take it in whatever format. So basically, anytime you feel stressed, whether it's mental or physical, magnesium could potentially help. So if you've had a really hard workout and you're sore, Natural Calm. If you have something super stressful going on in your life, you have trouble falling asleep, Natural Calm. So again, I have no affiliation with any of these brands, although I should probably start trying to. But magnesium is one great thing because it helps calm you down, and often if you are stressed, you are depleted in magnesium. If you're just joining, we're talking about stress and some supplements I use to combat that. So magnesium is one of them. I'm going to go over two others that I haven't discussed before. Excuse me, I keep dropping all my stuff. So one's not really, well, it's a supplement, but it's actually a tea. So this is Tulsi tea. The brand is Organic India, and this is a green tea. So I wouldn't have this at night, although because it has caffeine, but they do have other forms that are caffeine free. Tulsi is an herb. It's also called holy basil, and it's what you call an adaptogen or an adaptogenic herb. You might hear, if you've never heard that word before, you could hear the word adapt in the word adaptogen, and those herbs are helpful for kind of helping your body adapt to stress. So Tulsi or holy basil is kind of, it's known as, known as the queen of herbs because it helps so many different things, from stress to the immune system to all sorts of things. They do have this in supplement format, but again, here it's kind of like two for one, where you're drinking tea, getting a little caffeine, all the benefits of green tea, which are going to be helpful for things like weight loss as well. And, you know, it's a really easy thing to incorporate in your day if you're drinking tea or coffee anyway. So adaptogenic herbs like tulsi is one option. Another option is rhodiola, ashwagandha. Those are all different kinds of herbs depending on your situation. So the great thing about adaptogens is most likely it's like, you know, if you're vitamin D deficient, you kind of want to know what your levels are. Adaptogenic herbs, you don't really need to have like a baseline level in order to take them and see benefits. And it's like you can't take too much of them really, for the most part, if you're drinking it in something like a tea. So finally, here's the other supplement that I love. And so this is cordyceps, which this is in a powder form, but again, you can get it in supplements like in pills. And so this is a mushroom tea. Cordyceps is a mushroom, and there's all different benefits of mushrooms like cordyceps and chaga. But cordyceps is known again as an adaptogen, so it's going to help you adapt to stress in your life. So I've even like taken a tulsi tea bag and poured in some cordyceps and made like an adaptogenic elixir on particularly stressful days. Now, some of you might be joining because I talked about weight loss. You know, I just want to tie that in real quick, because if you do have fitness goals, if you're trying to lose weight or accomplish some sort of physical feat, you know, as I mentioned earlier, physical stress like exercise is going to be perceived as stress to your body. But actually outside stress is going to affect your physical performance as well. It's going to affect your hormones, your insulin sensitivity, your metabolism. So if you're chronically stressed and you think you're doing everything right, like you're eating right, you're working out, but maybe you're not sleeping great, maybe there's a lot of stress in your life, that's going to definitely hamper your weight loss goals, your fitness goals, your health goals. So honestly, if you're trying to take something on like that, before you can even say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym every day or I'm going to eat a perfect diet, you really need to get a better hold of your stress and your sleep, because that's really going to control everything else. You'll get much better results if you focus on those things first. So again, I hope you found some things helpful. Try to remove stress from your life. Try to integrate some daily rituals that are meaningful to you, that help you kind of mitigate your stress. And if those don't help as much, you can always try some of these supplements and herbs that I mentioned that are safe and effective. So guys, thanks so much for joining. Again, I'm Liz Barnett. I'm a fitness and food coach based in Manhattan. If you have any questions, just check me out on my website, lizbarnett.com. You can also check me on Twitter and Instagram at Liz Barnett, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions. Thanks for joining and have a great night. No problem. I'm happy to hear it.